All right. We are back again since something just happened with the last video, and this will be uploaded to YouTube. I don't want no lagging or nothing. But as I was saying, as I was saying, the UFC the press conference post or pre, um, just happened what couple of hours back. Tis Friday. Some stuff happened before the conference with Kevin Holland, Jorge Masvidal. Not sure about what exactly happened, but I guess it was just a bunch of shit talking between Jorge and Kevin Holland. Okay, whatever that comment meant. But yeah, so Kevin Holland's situation. I guess he commented that a video is going to be coming out, and then there's going to be a change as in opponents, similar to last time when him and Hamzat had to do a change in opponents, and Hamzat ended up fighting him, and we all know what happened with that fight. Pretty much nothing. But during the press conference, the people that were asking questions, or the press, kept trying to get some stuff out, but Dana White kept shutting them down, like pretty much saying, stop asking these questions, which I didn't really understand, because I'm like, it's the fight game, you kind of want some of that. As in, what if Kevin Holland, Masvidal ends up happening in the future? I mean, if Burns ends up beating him, then there's a high chance, highly likely that them boys will get at it. And I actually would prefer to see that. That could be I don't know if it could be a co-main event, fight night. But again, if Benz ends up losing to Masvidal, we all know what could happen. And what could happen is one of them could I'll tell you, could get Leon Rocky Edwards. And they again, man, the press asked why won't the winner, or if Masvidal gets the winner, or Burns gets the winner, why don't one of these bars get Leon? And he doubled down. I tell you, Dana White doubled down. And he said that Kobe deserves it because Kobe came in, went to England, got himself in weight and all that good stuff, made the weight. Obviously, he got paid $25K for it, so it's like, didn't he already earn something? Got himself to 25, and he says he's going to get the next title shot. One thing Gilbert keeps saying, he's like, why would you let this guy fight if he's like, he's in a court case with him, with the 3 felony situation. And there were some people out there saying that this is a way so that Kobe could drop the charges on Jorge, but I don't know about that. That'd be dealing with politics and all that other good stuff, or governmental shit, which I don't know much about. But I don't know, some type of goddamn corruption. But yeah, so Dana White, more like Dana Soft, because he's sounding a little soft lately ever since that slap incident in the club and shit. Pretty much kept telling the press, like, stop trying to start something that isn't there, which there is something there with Jorge and Kevin Holland. But Kevin Holland, man, he's always out there trying to start something. I'm pretty sure one of everybody's favorite fighters, Kevin Holland. Just really good on the mic and all that other good shit. But he's got Santiago Panzibio coming up on Saturday, which should, there's so many good fights on this card, but this could be the fight. I don't know. I don't see Izzy losing, to be honest. I just rewatched the fight, but I totally forgot that Izzy actually got taken down. I don't know how I forgot. It was, I don't know, it felt like more of a trip situation where he was just going backwards. And for God's sakes, Pereira is planning on, or saying in the future, that he might end up fighting in the light heavyweight division. So it's like, man's got power. Man's got that thing. as in power, strength, and all that other good stuff. I don't know how the fuck he makes weight, but he finds a way to make weight. And there was one other thing that I don't know if you guys saw it or not, where they were asking Pereira like things about fighters. He was like, "What Israel is like warrior. He's a good fighter. This and that." And then they brought up Hamzat Shmaev, and he was like, I think he said he's dog shit or something in the line in those lines. So yeah, you could. It sounds like Alex Pereira is not. I'll tell you, not a fan of Hamza Chimaev. Maybe a future fight. I'd want to see that. But yeah, his wrestling. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's as bad after a while rewatching that Israel Adesanya fight. Like, I mean, just mainly because of the strength and everything. I don't think Hamzat could like just manhandle him similar to some other fighters. Was it Jiling or whoever that Asian fighter was? What was that? I don't know how long ago that was, but when he literally grabbed the man, that Saudi Arabia fight, where he literally grabbed Mans, took him to Dana White, and then I forget if he asked for a title shot, whatever the fuck that situation was. But obviously he missed weight and probably not going to be fighting in that division. Sounded like it. But yeah, sounds like a lot of fights are being made, before or before even the conference and all that other good stuff's already done. But I would love to see that Jorge versus Kevin Holland fight. To be honest, that's why I wanted those answers or those questions being answered. And Dana White was, like I told you, ever since that slap incident, sounding like man's a little soft. There's been other situations where he's like, oh man, it's the fight business. And in the fight business, shit happens. So let them talk about it. Also, one of the people asked if, with the WWE merger with UFC, they've been asking those questions all fucking week, I'll tell you. Literally all fucking week they've been asking, like, every single fighter's like, oh, what do you think about the situation with WWE? My favorite answer was, I think it was from Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis was like, I asked around and they're not giving us a bigger pay or anything, so he's like, I don't give a fuck, pretty much. Which I don't think is the smartest answer, because what if Chris Curtis ends up being to me, he's one of the better fighters in the middleweight division right now. I don't know how he'll do against Kevin Gastelum, since Kevin Gastelum at one point in his career did face Israel Adesanya for the title. I don't know. It seemed like it was a little. I actually just rewatched a little bit of that too, but I was doing some mouth lines down there, so I didn't really catch it. But there was one point where he somewhat knocked him down. But I'm going to go ahead and say I wasn't planning on doing any prediction or anything, but for that one, I'm 110% going to go with my man's Chris Curtis. He's one of those fighters that always just, for a minute, he had like a 5-fight winning streak or something going on, where he was pretty much coming on short notice fights, like 2, 3, 4 weeks or something. There was a time where he came in, I think 1 month, and then a month or a half later or less than that came in and fought again, which we want to see a fight like that rising up in the ranks. And one other thing with that situation, Rosas Jr., the young buck, I think he's 18 years old. I believe his first ever fight was was it the Dana White Contender Series or one of the Dana White situations, where Rosas Jr. Was 17 year old. I think the youngest UFC fighter ever, or some bullshit like that. But I forget that whole situation. So he's in the main card, and Chris Curtis didn't like that, and I don't believe Gastelum didn't like that. He even said that he talked to one of the top guys, forgetting the guy's name, but he said he talked to, I think it was the president or whoever the fuck it was. He talked to him and pretty much explained to him why he wasn't happy with the situation. I was kind of confused about that to myself. I'm like, Rosas Jr. Prelims isn't bad. Dude's 7-0. He's 18 years old. I feel like you don't know what the fuck the future's going to look like anyways, Fighters come up all the time, young bucks, and, they end up losing and stuff, and the hype train kind of goes down. But we'll see what the hell happens with that. But yeah, he's in the main card, and Chris and Gastelum. That's the crazy thing. Kevin Gastelum was fighting for the title in a pay-per-view at one point, and Rosa Jr. was obviously young as shit at the moment at that time. Um, but still, I believe that Chris and Gaslam deserved that spot compared to Rosas Jr. And they asked about it in the presser as well, and they said that, what do you think about it, and this and that, and Dana White was like, you could tell how much we love this guy. Dana White with his wording and shit, pretty much saying that Roses sounded like he's saying like he's obviously, if he continues with whatever the fuck he's doing, as in winning and shit, um, obviously could be the future, probably title holder. Who knows? He's obviously gonna have to go up in the future, since he's young and probably still could make the weight, so it's no problem. I honestly didn't know anything about this Kristen Rodriguez. So in a way, he's the winner in this whole fucking situation. Out of all the four fighters, he's the main winner. He's the winner because he gets himself. He's in a fucking pay-per-view, one of the biggest of the year, to be honest. With so much star power. The likes of Kevin Holland, who did, I'll tell you, retired this year. Gilbert Burns, fucking Jorge Masvidal. Gilbert Burns rocking the Afro Burns out there. But yeah, it wasn't as big last time, but I guess all the fans were like hyping him up, or not hyping him up, just saying that I don't know, it matches him and all this and all that. And Gilbert Burns out there, I don't know, after this win and maybe gets another dub, who knows? Gilbert Afro Burns probably gets himself a title shot. He, as Dana Soft, did say that one of these guys could eventually be in line for the title, even if Colby Covington, Covington gets the dub or loss or whatever the hell happens with that situation with Edwards. But he did say it's not 100% yet. Who the fuck knows what UFC's like crazy like that. Where a fighter just ends up getting injured, out for 6 months. I mean, we saw what the hell happened with Hiri Paraska and all that other situation where he was most likely going to fight Glover Teixeira. I believe it was leading up to not too long before they were about to actually make the fight. Fight was off, and now Jamal Sweet Dream Hill is the fucking lightweight, heavyweight holder. One other thing that I heard this week, that Kevin Holland, Terrence McKinney, and Sweet Dream, I believe they called the Blunt Boys or something. So they got themselves a crew going. It's not Darren Till Shemaev. That's not the only thing that's going on. Obviously, you got Merab and Sterling, another duo out there as in a group, or just friends in the fight game. But yeah, that should be some entertainment when their fights are going on, I guess, or pressers or whatever the fuck. But yeah, that whole situation with Masvidal and Kevin Holland was somewhat crazy. It was out of nowhere. I'm on Instagram and seeing that whole shit coming out. But Kevin Holland, like I said, Kevin Holland did say there's going to be a video that's going to come out, and something might change or some shit. But I guess the video never came out. Well, the video did come out, but it was just a bunch of shouting. For some reason, Kevin Holland in these situations, it seems like he's always alone and fighting against his ops, or the other side. And usually the other side has a whole bunch of people with them, so it's like this guy's always ready to scrap or take somebody down. As for for a little bit, he had the situation with all the where somebody stole his car and all this other stuff, and okay, I love you too, Ray, whoever the hell Ray is. But yeah, the whole situation, Kevin Holland pretty much became a hero for a good minute. Every time he took it down a gunman, he did all this other shit. I forget about the whole situation. Literally every other week or so, he was on the MMA Hour or just some freaking interview because he had done something so crazy. Somebody stole a car or some shit, and I did give a shout out to Ray, by the way. Oh well, I know I saw what you did there, but I just said the Ray part, mate. But yeah, the Kevin Holland situation and Masvidal. Then Israel Adesanya Pereira. Man, there was one situation in that fucking picks for this week. I was actually planning on doing that tomorrow. I already did one, the Chris Curtis one with, and I got Chris winning that one. In a way, I kind of want Chris to win, to be honest. But tomorrow I'm gonna end up doing a whole picks. I usually don't even do picks, to be honest, but whatever. I guess if I'm gonna continue doing this bullshit, I gotta eventually get, because I'm not really good at it. That's the main thing. I almost, like a couple of weeks back, I'm like, oh, this fight's about to be legit, and then it was like one of the not worst fights. It was just a really bad fight by Vieira, and Corey Sandhagen just kind of pieced him up the whole fucking time. But yeah, not good with picks, but I'm gonna end up doing them anyway. So it's like, whatever, might. Oh yeah, back to I was rewatching the Israel Adesanya fight. It was round 3. Man, these guys were just in the ring, just the way they were going at each other was fucking crazy. I'm like, damn, this is like movie scene right here. The way they were just slobber knocking, punching, whatever. They were just throwing everything, and these men's was trying to hurt each other. He didn't win, mate. I don't know what you was talking about. That was completely Corey, unless you were just oh yeah, that judge, that Texas judge, yeah, that man's shit his pants. Yeah, he sure did. But yeah, that whole Texas situation, I was shocked at that too. To be honest, when I was watching them, I kind of like when the fight's over, the main fight's over. Yeah, I was just looking down on my phone and I hear one for Vieira, or was it Split or whatever the fuck the decision. I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? There was another fight in that card that was a little bit off. Maybe he did have some money on, mate, but I don't know too much about I don't look too into that stuff. But yeah, maybe man's had some money on that and all, but I didn't hear nothing about it, so I didn't really say much about it. Oh, another fight that's gonna be really good, bantamweight. Mans was making a rise, Rob Font, and then he just fell off after which fight was that? Oh yeah, Marlon Vera. Talking about Vera again, where Vera just pretty much pieced man up and just didn't really let him get anything. Ended up winning that by decision. That time at least he wasn't looking just. Maybe he was even in that fight looking for the knockout. Obviously that was poor pull. I'm telling you, pull. I don't think even Vieira's still out of the title contention. If he can make a comeback, maybe he will. Who knows. But yeah, Rob Font, at one point they were calling him one of the best or the best boxer in the UFC game, and after that loss, the hype. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. The hype dies down with a lot of fighters. If you're not a fighter that's always just making shit happen, as in on Twitter, or just talking a whole bunch of shit all the time, then you're most likely, in a way, you kind of get forgotten about. And also, fighters fight 3 times a year or so. So like, there's fighters I just like legitimately forget about. Fights that I legitimately forget about. I'm like, holy shit, they fought already. Like, fuck kind of shit is that? But yeah, the Christian Rodriguez dude, if he ends up knocking Rosas Jr. out or gives him a tough time, similar to what happened with Patty, where pretty much Jared Gordon ended up actually winning the fight. Similar thing with the judging and all that. Obviously Dana Soft wasn't too happy about that. Pretty much saying, oh, you should knock the guy out, which he's right. Usually you don't want to leave it up to the judges, because judges, they're fuckboys. They just don't know how to judge, it seems like. But yeah, Rodriguez, if he ends up, he could end up shocking the MMA world, and if he can somehow, some way. Rosas was like kind of hyping him up in a way. He was like, "Oh, Christian's a prospect himself." Like, okay, mate, that's what you're saying. But a lot of times when they're setting up a fighter, it's so you can get big. They hook you up with somebody. Or I mean, if you're a star in the rise, like Rosas Jr., and if they match you up with somebody that similar with Sean O'Malley, they're pretty much like Moutinho. Remember, they brought in Moutinho, signed him to a contract after the fight because they couldn't find a fight for Sean O'Malley. They couldn't find him a fight and ended up giving him a fight with Moutinho. Moutinho got a contract. Then Moutinho was let go not too long ago. But that's because Moutinho got his ass fucking whooped Literally gave him a facelift, or as in Sean O'Malley gave him a facelift. But yeah, Christensen or Christian, or however it's pronounced, if you can get that going, then the Rose's hype train kind of dies down. But then again, it's the UFC. You know, you could lose. You can, you learn from your losses and all this other bullshit. I mean, look at Jorge Masvidal, 35-16, has 16 losses. Look at Nate Diaz. Man's has losses up the wazoo and was one of the biggest stars, one of the highest payings. So sometimes it's just, we as fans, we want to see them scrap. And Jorge and Nate are both good on the mic, and they're also good with the hands. As in, once you get in the ring with them, you're about to have a scrap. Similar with Kevin Holland. Obviously, Kevin Holland's already been in one of the fights of the year. Was it Stephen Thompson? Yeah, Thompson. That fight of the year, that fight night where they were just going at it. For me, it's one of the fights of the year. I believe somebody said there was an early prelim fight that I didn't actually catch. They said Down was probably fight of the year. Bisping and Smith and all them boys were talking about that fight. But that's going to be it for today. Most likely going to be doing a 1 a.m. tomorrow. That's what I'm shooting for. And I'm going to do predictions and just see if anything else comes out. See if that video with if another video comes out with Kevin Holland and the boys. Not sure. But thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one. Saltton.